Well, I got a very unexpected visitor today for the podcast, but yeah, it's going to be good because we got a lot to talk about before he heads off into the sunset to pack a suitcase. Because tomorrow we're off to London, baby. Well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Thursday's edition of the Moore Army podcast. I've got an unexpected visitor today, but more on that in just a wee second. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well out there, guys. Welcome back to another edition. It's episode 46 now of the Unleashed podcast. I don't remember how many I've done all together, but I've done quite a lot. But anyway, yes, guys, it's Thursday. Finally, after all the crap of weather we've had over the last few days, the sun is shining. Thank the Lord. But yes, only one day to go until I'm away this coming Friday, tomorrow, which is, I can't wait to get away. Yes, so we've got a lot to talk about on the podcast today. But before we do any of the subjects today, I'm sitting here actually at the last minute. I got an unexpected visitor on the podcast because he's now officially finished school for the summer. He's gone and he's sitting here with his blue bottle of Prime. I'm sitting here with a red bottle of Prime actually recording the podcast today, even though we did talk about it on Tuesday's episode where we told you guys that we never got any Prime because of our recent visit to Tesco's because they launched it with Tesco. But we did manage to get it, but you've seen it in the vlog. If you haven't checked it out, go and see it. But anyway, yes, today, guys, I have an unexpected visitor. Lewis has decided to stick his head in because he's bouncing today because we're off to London tomorrow, so I take it, obviously, you're sitting there enjoying your Prime, but obviously, most importantly, you're looking forward to tomorrow.
Prime.
Oh, come on. You're looking forward to tomorrow, though.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, tomorrow, guys, we head off to London to watch WWE SmackDown Live and also WWE Money in the Bank live from the O2 Arena in London. Do you know my friend Joe actually flew out this morning?
Why?
You know what Joe's like? Joe likes to go a day or two.
Sitting?
Knowing Joe, being single, no debts, no kiddies, he's probably on the floor.
That's terrible.
He's no money, he's no things to pay out. Joe works in Tesco. But he's still
some Prime.
He can go and jump. But anyway, yes, guys, before we continue on with the podcast today, Lewis has just jumped on here for a little bit to start off with because I was going to talk about a wee trip to London and stuff. But before we go any further in the podcast, as always, you know, guys, by now, I like to do the housekeeping before we go any further into the episode. So if you're a new regular to the Moore Army podcast, hello, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. If you're a regular listener to us, whether you're listening to us on TuneIn Radio, whether you listen to us on Apple Music or iTunes, as I keep calling it, also Spotify, and also if you're listening to us on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Welcome back to the Moore Army podcast, and this is how you can get in touch with us. If you're new to the podcast or a regular listener, you can contact us by email, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. So don't forget, moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Social media, Instagram, official Matthew Moore on Instagram, if you want to contact the program on there. And also on Facebook, Moore Army YouTube channel, Facebook page. Please don't forget to like that Facebook page for me, I would appreciate it. And also, if you want to get some of your new merch, which we're going to talk about this young man here as well, because he's released a new t-shirt on the Moore Army you have on the Moore Army store, not on your own store for your own YouTube. You're jumping the gun there. We've released some new merchandise. I'm hoping to get some more released over the weekend. We've got new t-shirts for men, women and children. We've also got new Lewis Moore t-shirts with his famous catchphrase, which all you laugh at every time you watch the channel. You want to go check out all the previous vlogs, you can go and listen to all the previous podcasts, you can go to everything all one spot. It's moorearmy.co.uk. Yes, we have released a t-shirt, remember the other day, your famous catchphrase?
Yeah, I do.
In case you don't watch our YouTube channel, Lewis is going through a phase at the minute where he started it actually in Cardiff last September, just before we left, but he actually done it in a vlog and on YouTube Shorts. Whenever Roman Reigns, the wrestler, was telling the crowd to acknowledge him, you were sitting in front of like 70,000 people, and as soon as he said it, you went,
Or why?
Exactly.
I actually started a few weeks before that, but then, like I said, for the first time on a video, like in Cardiff, which is
It was so funny because every time I asked you, or what? Like, do you remember the video I put on Instagram and stuff and Facebook of you on the plane coming back from our trip about 9 weeks ago in Liverpool? Like, they were doing the wee thing on EasyJet where they were, like, calling out the seatbelts and where the emergency exit and all is. And at the very end, they were like, and if you have any more questions, please answer the member of staff or whatever. And he just went, or what? And everybody in the front of the plane was laughing and behind us. So we now have an official or what t-shirt. So if you're not from Northern Ireland, if you understand what that means, or what means or what. So someone says to me, go and do that now. Or what? So it's not a cheeky way of putting it across. It's just a funny, sarcastic, typical Northern Ireland way of saying it.
But you have to say it like this. It's not or what. It's or why. Not
WHA.
WHA exclamation mark.
Yes.
Nothing else. You cannot say the T. It's illegal. No. It's illegal in my situation.
So it's like if you want to get an official Moore Army Lewis Moore or why t-shirt, moorearmy.co.uk. It comes in different colours, different sizes, right up till 5XL, I think it is now. And also you can get it for your kids, and you can get it for women and men, and it's available in different colours. So moorearmy.co.uk for your official
or what
t-shirt. Right. I'm only going to get you on for a couple of minutes, so I'm trying to maintain my composure. My language today as well, I'm going to obviously get more into it, but again, guys, when we're going to start talking about other subjects, we've got a lot to talk about today, obviously it's a bit more unleashed, so this part of this podcast will be a little bit more sort of restrained, because obviously I've got my son sitting beside me, but I do try my best. But anyway, yes, I've got loads to talk about today. We've also got the Jackass of the Week coming up in the podcast today as well, so stay tuned for that. But tomorrow is the day, Lewis. We've been waiting for this for weeks and months. Finally, not like The Rock, because we're going to WWE show. Finally, the Moore Army is on tour in London.
Or why?
No, we're off to London tomorrow, but all jokes aside, are you not excited about this show?
Of course I am. I'm going to be looking around London, and you know who? You know who?
Yes, I know, that balloonhead Logan Paul.
Oh, I was going to say it, but yeah, Logan Paul's in London. It was announced like last week, wasn't it?
If we see him, can we like do what the Dons in Copenhagen where we throw bottles of Prime at him?
No, if we find Prime thing, we literally buy a bottle of Prime and we say, I want them to sign my bottle of Prime.
What is your obsession with you young ones in this Prime?
I don't know, it just tastes good. Well, the Tropical Punch one you're drinking is absolutely...
I'm actually sitting here drinking a bottle of red Tropical Punch Prime. Now, we did say on Tuesday's podcast that we went out Monday morning, couldn't get any. But after I put the podcast out, this balloonhead came in from school on Tuesday and he was like, Dad, Tesco have Prime again. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
No. So I went over and I had literally finished recording the podcast, or the YouTube video, sorry. And I had to actually delete the end part of it because we ended up having to extend the vlog. So we ended up going to Tesco. We got bottles of red, blue, the new pink version. We got more. And then later on that night, on the Tuesday night, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Brooke's boyfriend, Paul, came round to visit. So Brooke and Paul were watching movies. I was upstairs, chilling out in my room, whatever it was, and watching a bit of TV. And you went to the shop again. And when you went back over again, you found a full basket full of pink.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought more home.
Honestly, what's your favourite? Like out of the three you've had so far?
I think I like the pink one.
Like, what's your top three you've had?
I don't really care.
Mine goes strawberry watermelon, then it goes green, it goes lemon lime, then it goes to blue raspberry, then it goes probably ice pop, then tropical punch.
Must say though, that one we bought for you in Wigan,
yeah,
the ice pop one,
it tastes like that.
it's crap.
It tastes like the one you're drinking. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
What, this red one I'm drinking right now?
It tastes similar to it. I can tell you that much.
I wasn't a big fan of it because you saw it in the vlog when we were in Wigan. We bought it for like, was it a $5 a bottle?
Well, I told you not to, but you just said you want that. I was like, okay, and you bought me it, so I'm not complaining.
Your nanny and granda, as you all know, are away to Edinburgh at the minute, and drop a lid down the floor. They're away to Edinburgh at the minute, and they saw some crazy prices for Prime over there because I talked about it on Tuesday's podcast. I want to talk about it after that, whenever Lewis gets off the podcast today, more on that. If you haven't listened to Tuesday's podcast, go back and listen to it where I tell you about Mum and Dad's disastrous trip to Edinburgh. But here, Lewis, they were saying on the phone the other night that I saw a corner shop that was selling bottles of Prime. Now, I saw ones in England for like £6, £7 a bottle, £8 a bottle. $15.99 for a bottle of Prime.
Well, it depends what flavour was it. That's the main problem. That's the main
They
problem.
said it was the blue one, the red one, and that one you got ice pop one.
You do know something? You know where we need to go as soon as we get home from London? Or we can go to there in London. Sainsbury's. Wanna know why?
Oh god, KSI Prime.
No, to have that. Plus they have the ice pop version of the energy drink and all the other flavours. Because Adam, the barber, he had the pink one in his hand yesterday, and he said he went down on was it?
In case you don't know who Adam the Barber is, the guy that's been in our vlogs before.
He went down on Monday and he found like legitimately every flavour of the energy drink down in Sainsbury's. So I was like, oh.
What, the one near us here?
Yeah.
Might take a wee trip down in a day and get some for the trip tomorrow.
Can I mention one other thing?
What's that?
Do you want me to reveal something tomorrow in the vlog?
Oh dear God, what is it?
Got a new haircut, remember?
Oh yeah, no, he did. He's sitting here with a new haircut. He looks like... Don't even get me started. But anyway, yes,
This looks better.
all the way from Prime for now. Go and check out the vlog. It's available on the YouTube channel now if you want to go and watch it. But here, London, what do you want? Look, obviously you're looking forward to going to Money in the Bank. We're looking forward to going to the O2 and SmackDown tomorrow night and stuff, but we're looking forward to it, which can't wait. Vlogs coming out from the whole weekend. Is there anything in London all apart from that you're looking forward to seeing?
London? Oh, can we go to London Eye?
Are you going to pay the extortionate price to get onto it?
No. We'll look at it, or do you want to pay for it?
No, well, I was talking to a friend last night and they were telling me that the London Eye is near Parliament Buildings and apparently it's a 20-minute walk to Buckingham Palace. And then Big Ben's right beside Parliament Buildings as well, and the Tower Bridge. So, and plus remember on Sunday, we're there all day Sunday as well, and we're not coming home to Monday, so...
That's what I'm saying. We need to go to, where was it, what was that place you called again?
Parliament Buildings, number 10 Downing Street, Buckingham Palace.
That's what I'm talking. We need to go Buckingham Palace, we need to go London Eye, we need to go...
Alright, Charles, mate, or what?
What's happening, man? Can I get a selfie?
Oh no, you're not getting a selfie with the king. Or what?
She just job kicks him on the ground.
Here, gives Camilla a big hug, or here Queenie gives a big hug. Or what?
Give the big kiss.
I know, thank you. Could you imagine that, like? Yeah, but no, anywhere else in particular you want to do, apart from obviously prime hunting?
No, I'm not going to be doing prime hunting often. I just want to look at like one or two shops and then see what they're like, and then possibly just look around shops, get a few things, bring them home. Try to find Logan Paul.
Buy an extra suitcase full of prime.
Wouldn't be complaining.
But no.
You actually know you can bring bottles of prime home as long as they're sealed. If as long as they're not opened, you can bring anything home.
If it's anything like Manchester Airport a few months ago, no offence to people from Manchester, but their airport's an absolute freaking nightmare.
Where are we flying from tomorrow?
Belfast International Airport.
Full city.
No. Belfast International Airport. Other airports are available. Nottingham Grand is home today. We fly tomorrow, so we'll get to see them tomorrow before they go.
What time are they home at?
I have no idea. They're home at some point today. They'll probably turn up here ripping their hair out, but we're going to talk about that more on the podcast shortly. But I've had a few people contact me over the last few days about them, saying like they felt so sorry for them. You know, obviously all the crap about the bricking and stuff like that, and this has been a whole big cluster. You know what? Anyway, me personally, I want to see Parliament Buildings, number 10 Downing Street, and shout in, is Boris still there? No, he's not there. Like, you know our jackass the week's called Boris, you know that? Yeah, the donkey's called Boris, so I wonder if he's there, or Mr. Sunak, or is Matt Hancock still there? Is he still having an affair with his wife? What? Or we'll see Buckingham Palace. I want to see Big Ben. I really want to see Big Ben. I've always wanted to see Big Ben and the London Eye. We'll see what the price is for the London Eye. Apparently you're on the London Eye for about 30 minutes. Oh God. Which is great, because can you imagine getting to the London Eye? On top of that, they get the whole view of London, which is awesome.
One question for you. Are you excited to be at your first ever SmackDown show? Well,
I've been to Monday Night Raw live tapings in Birmingham, America, and where else? I think that's the only one I was at. The one I was at in Birmingham was 2005, which was whenever your mum was pregnant with Brooke, because we made a sign saying my name, your mum's name, and then at the bottom it said and bump. Yeah, I know. It's actually on the episode of Raw if you watch it back from 2005. I'm looking forward to that, yes, of course, but I'm most importantly looking forward to tomorrow night. Or Saturday night, sorry, for the Money in the Bank, to see Logan Paul get a ladder smashed to his face.
Oh, mate, that'd be funny.
Do you realise they are going to boo him out of the building, like?
Yeah, you think that?
If you cheer Logan Paul, you're going home.
You do realise that everyone in the UK loves Logan Paul for making prime. They're not going to not do it.
No. When he comes out, it's going to be a hostile crowd there. It's going to be like Puerto Rico a few months ago with Backlash. They're going to boo his ass out of the building.
So if I cheer, they're going to, like, throw me over the balcony?
Yeah, you'll be getting thrown into the ring and thrown off a 20-foot ladder.
Oh, mate, no complain. Learn some wrestling skills, don't worry about it.
No, you're alright. I'm going to boo his ass. He's just... I must admit, though, all jokes aside, his podcast isn't bad. Yeah. Like, I've watched a few of his episodes of his podcast, but see all them YouTube videos he makes and all, and just how he could tell. And then I heard today that apparently if he wins this, I know obviously it's all people who don't watch wrestling and stuff like that, they're probably listening and going, what the fuck are they talking about? But the point is, you know, if he wins that, he's going to take that briefcase everywhere with him.
Okay.
When he's out doing promotional work for Prime, he'll have the briefcase with him. When he's doing his podcast, he'll have the briefcase. But then I heard today that apparently the creative team does not want him to win it.
Why?
Because he's not there full time, and it wouldn't be fair to guys who are there. It's like you being in a job, Lewis, and you're there every single day, Monday to Friday, busting your ass, week after week, month after month, year after year, and this other guy just walks in, and he's there one day a week. And you have more experience than him, and you're doing the job a lot longer than him, and he just walks in and gets the promotion above you like that. And he's only there one day a week, or one day every fucking 3 or 4 months. And you're there every day, slugging your guts out, 9 to 9, say, for example, every week, busting your ass. Would you not be happy?
I wouldn't really mind, to be honest. It's not.
No.
He could do the job. Like, you think about it, though, in a job like that, he could be a better person at working in the job that you do, but like he can do the job better than you, but you still been doing it longer than him.
No, he's not really. Okay, don't get me wrong. He's only had a couple of matches, and some of his matches have been quite good. But again, he's an outside celebrity coming in, and if it was me personally, I'd be a little bit pissed off too.
About it though, all those celebrities that come in, right? They always come in for like 1-2 matches with like all their like contracts, and then like they just leave instantly. Logan Paul renewed his contract. He wants to keep on doing it.
Not that he needs the money, but anyway,
you have to give him credit that he actually is a decent wrestler for how long he's been doing it for as well.
No comment. I've been watching WWE stroke WWF stroke WWF whatever it is since I was 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. That's a long time, and he is quite good, but maybe it's just me being an old timer and complaining. But look, listen, he does bring a few eyeballs to the product, but again, outside the ring, I think sometimes he can be a little bit arrogant and a little bit cocky, and there's a lot of guys in the back don't like him.
That's his character. He can't do much about that.
But then there's been a character on like the likes of a TV show or a WWE or a YouTube, but then in real life, Lewis, you gotta be your normal self.
He is. He just does that. Whenever you see him, he always being filmed, doesn't he?
Not necessarily, no.
You've never seen him in real life, so you don't know him.
But anyway, speaking of celebrities and ex-wrestlers, whatever else, John Cena's in Liverpool at the minute.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. Of all the people, John Cena. And he was actually, some guy went up to him yesterday. He was sitting in a wee open restaurant in, where was it in Liverpool? I can't even remember. I recognised the street. And I walked up and asked him for a picture and all. And they asked him to do these. And Cena's like, I'm trying to have like food with my friend here. Don't want to leave me be. I'll see you after. And the guy was being really forward and cheeky and rude and all. Like if you walk up to him and he goes, guys, I'll see you later on. I'm just having something to eat here. I'll catch up with you after. I'd be like, not a problem. See you later. Yes. I'll tell you a story actually. It was one time, you won't remember this wrestler, but I do. Arn Anderson. He was a big time wrestler back in the 80s and early 90s until he had to retire. He now works with AEW behind the scenes. He was Cody Rhodes' manager. He was recently with Wardlow and stuff. Me and your Uncle Tony met him one time at the Hilton in Belfast years ago. And he was checking in at the desk, and we just walked over to him and says, Arn, can we get a picture? And he was like, guys, give me 2 minutes. And he was standing with another wrestler, Dean Malenko. And we just saw them because they were like old school wrestlers from back in the day, and we loved them to bits. We just wanted all the younger ones run over to the likes of fucking The Miz and John Cena and all them ones. We were over to see them guys, and the two of them says, oh, and I thought, Tony, they're not going to come back. We'll just leave it. They did. They came over, took photos. We were talking about one of the wrestlers who passed away. We were chatting away and stuff for ages. We took pictures and had a great time. That's great. It's people like that who I love, but then they get the older ones who are like, the younger wrestlers now just don't give a shit. And that annoys me. But that was just a wee story I wanted to share with you. But before, obviously, we wrap up London here. I mean, obviously, we're going to be doing a bit of shopping. We're going to be going around the town. And we know a few people from over here are actually travel over to as well, which we're looking forward to seeing a few people over there. And we are going to try and get in touch with Joe, because Joe's a good lad, so he is. But the other two girls who we know from Clash in the Castle, I've known them for years. You met them at the airport and over there. Louise and Paula, they're not going to be there.
Aww.
So they're not going to be there this time. So, but overall, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, honestly, I am. But like, I'm excited. I have one question for you again.
Oh goodness me!
It's about wrestling, the match, right? Would you like to see? You know, like Bad Bunny and Logan Paul are both influencers.
Yes, I've seen that all over the internet.
Would you like to see that match?
Not really.
SummerSlam?
Not really.
I would love to see that.
Anyway, talking away from wrestling, obviously we're looking forward to our trip and stuff like that. Yesterday, you finished school for the year. That's another year down and gone. Another year gone. You're now into your most important year, starting here in September. Year 11 or fourth form or fourth year, whatever you want to call it in the UK, or whatever grade it is in high school in America.
Grade 10.
I couldn't tell you, but in America. But anyway, you're done. Overall, have you enjoyed your year?
No.
Why?
Boring, annoying, teachers, everything. I'm actually kind of sad though. One of my teachers, no, two of them actually, are leaving. No, three. My classmate isn't Mrs. Hall or Miss Hall, whatever you want to call. Oh yeah, she's married Miss Hall. His son used to do RE. He used to teach me, or he's leaving. I didn't really mind that because I didn't really get along with him. Then my geography teacher, who's actually meant to be a science teacher, is leaving for another school. I actually realized he was really nice. And then my TD teacher, you met her at the, what was it, the options day? Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember talking to her. We were there a few months ago, picking for your GCSEs and all for next year. But apart from all that, there, I mean, obviously you're going to miss your friends over the summer.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet up with them.
Oh yeah, well obviously there's some of them you're not going to see as much because of holidays and stuff.
Yeah, and some of them living like all over the place, so I can't do very much about that.
What do you see when you're in a situation like Brooke, when you leave school and you don't really see your friends much more anymore because they're all away doing their own thing and they're out working and everything changes? I mean, starting this September is obviously where your journey obviously gets more serious, and any messing about you done with your friends or joking about with your friends and all, that all stops because this is the important time for you. Any parents out there who are listening to me, you know yourself, when your kids start doing their GCSE year, that's when you have to knuckle down, because at the end of the day, you know, it's your future now is in your hands, and you want to do all these jobs you say when you're older and stuff, but you got to put the work in. Yeah,
you do, but like there's not many school subjects. Like probably like one is business. That's all you literally generally get for what I want to do. And like there's literally another 6 things I want to do which they don't teach, which can kind of be annoying at points. Plus, moving image in business is the most ones that are generally going to help me when I'm older, but that's generally all about it. But like there's another 3 or 4 things I want to do, which is not I'm going to have to learn by myself.
I mean, I talked about this in the podcast months ago about young ones, your generation, being told, oh, you don't need to go to university to get this, you don't need to go to do this. Not yeah, listen, I know you're sitting there now and you're 14 and you think you know it all now and the rings at your feet and all. Listen, I remember when I was 14, I remember even when Brooke was 14, she was like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and you're going to do this and that. Listen, see, when it gets down to it, no matter how many qualifications you need, you take every one you can, because do you know something? In this day and age now, you need a qualification to have a job. You need a qualification. Gee whiz. Even the guy who, I told you this before, the guys who empty our bins, like I know one of the guys I know from school, he had to have at least 5 GCSEs before he became a bin man. Like that's, your granddad done a bin man years ago when he left school. When he worked in the council for 27 years, he was a bin man, he was a road sweeper, and obviously drove the wee machines around town that obviously had the big brushes and all on it. He worked in the yards, he done all different jobs. But back then it was different, where you just walked out of school and the councils were giving you jobs. Now, even the council, you could have even a fucking toilet cleaner job. You need to have GCSEs before you even walk into a job now. So I always say to you and your sister, and you know this every single time, no matter what qualification it is, English, maths, business, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But you need your every GCSE you can get your hand on, especially with Brooke as well. I keep telling her about her A-levels this time. Every exam, every qualification you can get your hand on, you bust your balls and you do it, because at the end of the day, you need them, because you may turn around and say, oh, I can't get this job that I want now, but I may have to work in a retail store. But if I want to work in a retail store, I have to have qualifications. They're not going to touch you if you don't have anything.
Think about it. I'm not wanting to, whenever I talk about business to you, I don't actually want to work for someone else's business. I want to own my own business.
I know, and you said to me before, but then me and Brooke told you this before, and no matter what, you need qualifications, you need financial backing to start a business, you need all your different things you need.
Teach you in school, which is kind of annoying.
Well, this is where you need to take every qualification you can, and then whenever you leave school, if you decide to go to, whether if you get into uni or you get to go to college and learn and do another course at a tech college or a night school or whatever, do it, because if that's what you want to do, you can't just think, I'm just going to come up with this big crazy idea and it's going to go mad overnight. No. Not all the time people have been lucky like that, but you gotta work.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I remember I was trying to talk to you about the guy in the taxi the other day coming home from school. No, he was having a really nice conversation with me about school and all. He was telling me and him actually agreed on a lot of things. We were saying that school doesn't even teach you about how to do your own taxes, learn you about more money. They don't teach you any of that.
But that's things that you learn when you get older.
Yeah, but they need to teach you how to work it out when you're older. Then you know how to learn more when you're older.
But this is where you do business. This is whenever you leave school, you do your business studies, and you do all your different things. Well, this is where they teach you all these things. They don't learn it, most of it, in high school. Lewis, when I went to high school, they didn't teach me about taxes and everything else. I was just told, you get a job, you work hard, your tax comes out of your wage, your national insurance comes out of your wage, and that's it. I know a lot of business owners who you could talk to. I know a lot of business owners, even ones who you talk to regularly at football every week. If you want to talk to them, they can give you advice. Like, for example, our longtime friend Fred McGee, Scott, his son-in-law, who's now a millionaire.
Yep.
He started his own business, but he just didn't think, I'm going to start this wee business, and that's what this is, an idea, and I've got a bit of money to back it up. No. Scott had to get his qualifications. Scott had to work hard. Scott had to really graft and train hard and do everything he could from no ways to build it where he is today. And look where he is now. You've met Scott a load of times. The guy is so humble. He's such a nice guy. He's a millionaire, but does he walk around like a millionaire? Does he act like one of these, oh, look at me, I have all the money in the world? Hell no. But that's what I'm saying to you now. You've all these thoughts going through your head now. If I sat down with you when you're 18 now with a podcast, God forbid we're still here, touch wood, we're still recording podcasts, but we're not drinking Prime anymore. Why we're doing it? I'm joking. Your whole mindset in this world will be different because you're 14 now and you think, I remember when I was 14, I thought, oh God, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And a lot of things didn't work out for me, but I'm doing okay now. But where I am now has took me a long time to get there, Liz. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, but think about when did you start doing all your stuff? How many years ago?
When I started going on my own with the job that I'm in now, which obviously I don't disclose who I work for and stuff like that, because obviously
Just how many years ago?
People out there who are complete numpties who like to try and torture me. I started about 9 years ago. I started to build my own stuff up and doing my own thing that I'm doing now and doing all the stuff that I'm doing now, and it's took me about 8 or 9 years to get where I am. And again, I could be bigger for what I do. I could have more money, but I don't, because I dedicate my life to you and your sister and my work from home. As long as the bills are paid and there's food on the table, we have a couple of holidays a year or whatever, and I get to go to watch Liverpool play. I've said this before in the podcast. I am happy. I could be a lot well off. I could be living in a bigger house. I could be living elsewhere. I earn money from YouTube. I earn money from my jobs. I earn money, but again, I'm happy and content. Now, that doesn't say whenever you two grow up and move out, then I'm maybe thinking, I'm going to push myself harder and maybe get that big 40 grand car outside and maybe push myself that there. But again, I don't live outside my means. I'm not all about flashy. I mean, I said this before, Lewis, in the podcast weeks ago. If your dad woke up tomorrow a millionaire, like 50, 60 million in the bank, do you think I want to still, I'm not going to live here anymore? But I wouldn't change for anybody. I wouldn't have like a Ferrari outside and a big £5 million mansion and all. No.
You don't just wake up, you have to work for that.
Of course you do.
And you need to know what you're doing to do that. I'm seeing that whenever you said 8 or 9 years you've been doing that, right? See, in those 8 or 9 years, see amount of more business things that actually came out, you can earn a lot more money from than what it was there 8 or 9 years ago.
And I understand that, but if you had saw your dad 10, 11 years ago, like obviously you were a lot smaller, you were only like 2 or 3, your dad was literally struggling. I mean, my wages from my jobs were gone like that before I even got a chance to even see it, because of things that we've talked about. Obviously, don't want to talk about too much in the podcast, but obviously paying mortgages and paying for kids and paying rates and childcare and taxes and working my ass off all the time. And then now, obviously, I've talked about my story before where I ended up with nothing and started working my body back up again. But if you'd have turned around to me 10 years ago, 11 years ago and went, I remember years ago, if you come in with a pair of busted shoes, I struggled to even get you a pair of shoes. Now, if you walk in tomorrow and go, Dad, look, my shoes are busted, right, let's go and get you new shoes. Back then, I couldn't. The point I'm trying to say to you is, you need to work hard. Every qualification you have an opportunity to take. I have qualifications that I don't even use anymore. When I worked in the nursing sector, I had the MVQ level 1 and 2 in nursing and care for the elderly. I don't even use it anymore. I have MVQs in retail, which I don't use anymore because I don't work in retail anymore. But at least if I go for a job, say my job went away tomorrow, and I had to go back to, say, working at a public place, the likes of where I worked before, like Curry's or Home Base or whatever, or standing in a shop selling stuff, I can turn around in my interview and go, here, by the way, I've done retail for this amount of years. Here's the qualifications I have. This is the things that I earned while I was doing them jobs. This is what I've done when I was manager here. This is what, and they'll look at me and go, all right, okay, so you actually have them right down on. If I didn't have that, they'd probably look at me and go, nah, no interest. In closing this, every qualification you get an opportunity to take next year, whether it's English, maths, I don't care if it's boring doing it, but if you get there and you have that, if you go for a job, say when you're 19, 20, and you kind of go, Daddy, I can't get a job anywhere, I've tried everywhere, or I had a job and the business went bust or whatever, I'm applying for this job, but they're asking for 5 GCSEs and I only have 1 or 2. I'm like, well, there's no point applying for it because you ain't got them. But if you have it, you go, right, apply for it. But anyway, yes, let's move on. Finally, before I let you go, because you've been speaking here for half an hour, you're eating most of the time of my podcast, young man. Yeah, talking about your prime and your London trip and whatever else. So we got to get an early night tonight. We got to get some sleep. We got to get up early tomorrow. And here's the thing. My listeners know it's beer day today on Thursdays. Yeah, I know. Hell yeah, it's beer day today. I drink on beer on Thursday night, so it means I'm going to have to go into have a drink tonight, sit down, maybe have a beer about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock tonight, and then go to bed about 10 to get a few hours sleep so we can get up tomorrow morning. So, yeah, this is my day of switching off. You all know that, regular listeners, but obviously I'm going to have to do a wee bit earlier today. But what a week it's been. It's been a long week building up their trip, so obviously thank you for coming on. And you can now go about your day. I'm kicking you off because I want to start talking about some of the subjects, and I'm going to start ranting and raving and doing Jackass of the Week and answering questions from our lovely listeners of the Mirror Army podcast.
And also, during this podcast, I finished my prime.
I wish this podcast was sponsored by Prime. But before you go, before I let you go, I mean, obviously you're excited about tomorrow. Will we see any YouTube videos on your channel while we're away?
Yes, but I'm debating, do I start it on my vlog channel and my normal channel, or do I just keep it my normal channel for now?
Just do the normal channel. Everybody, Lewis Moore on YouTube, guys. Subscribe to him.
Lewis Moore on YouTube, Lewis Moore Vlogs, Lewis Moore Reacts, Instagram, Lewis Moore YNWA, Facebook's Lewis Moore YouTube channel. Merch is newgenstore.tmail.com, and what else is there to do? Discord server as well, it's not in the description, but just go into my channel and you'll find it.
He's away.
Goodbye.
Oh, he's gone. Well, I made it now that he's left the room. Oh, and he's closed the door. Good lad. Let's get into what we were talking about today, guys. He's a typical 14-year-old boy. Sorry, I'm just trying to move around this chair here at the moment, which is sounding quite squeaky. So if you hear a squeaking sound, sorry, it's just my chair being a little bit squeaky. What have I got for you today? Gee whiz, guys, we've got some stuff to talk about you today. Here, I've got my laptop here in front of me. If you just bear with me a second, there we go. Yeah, we've got a few things we want to talk about on the podcast today, and obviously want to listen to some of your questions too as well. A lot of you have been asking me about this thing about the children in schools, and we're talking about the last couple of podcasts about, children identifying as different things like flipping animals and whatnot. There's been something horrible happening in a school in Essex. We're going to talk about that. The COVID-19 inquiry is going on at the minute today as we speak. And I know our wee friend Jeanette McCranky, or what do you want to call her, Nicola Sturgeon's giving evidence today. I seen Matt Hancock the other day. We clip online with him talking out of his bloody arse as usual. What else we got to talk about today on the podcast? Yes, Joe Biden was on in the news again about his stammering and his bumbling and all this hair crap. The lunatics of Just Oil have now hit another major sporting event too as well. Oh, the God Almighty, they are an absolute nightmare, so they are. What else have been up to in the World Cup? A few notes wrote down here, guys, and I should actually prepare them right in front of me before I start talking to Lewis. Just a few other things I want to talk about as well, but I'll pull it up as I'm talking to you now, guys. The first thing I want to talk about today on the podcast, by the way, this is now where the podcast goes unleashed. So, just for warning, in case any trolls out there are fucking listening to the podcast and they're going, "You're swearing on a podcast, but your son on it. Oh my God, you're terrible." He's not even here anymore. He's gone. So, in case you all start pulling your hair out and you start cracking up and going, oh my God, he's swearing on the podcast with the sun been on it, he should be ashamed of himself and he should be cancelled. Aye. Well, get your orange signs down the road with them fucking loony bins and super glue yourself to the road. Right, we've been talking about schools the last wee while there, guys, about these kids getting away with murder in school and obviously turn around saying they're identifying themselves as foxes and flipping cars and everything you can think of under the sun. And I seen one the other day, we were laughing about it and saying about people wanting to identify as a cat, and some guy turned around on the TV the other day and says, well, if you want to be a cat, we'll put you in a cat cage and we'll put you in the sanctuary whenever we go away on holiday, and you'll be having a bowl of whiskers and milk and all for your dinner. But yes, there's this thing that we've been talking about as well, not even just for school kids, for adults as well, about these gender neutral things that have been going on. You know, I even saw it in fucking Primark in Liverpool a few months ago with Lewis. But it's a story broke today that gender neutral toilet horror as Essex schoolgirls are sexually assaulted. A teenage boy has been arrested in connection with the allegations. A police investigation has been launched into allegations that female pupils were sexually assaulted in a school's gender neutral toilets. I think that's fucking disgusting. Officers have arrested a teenage boy over 4 claims of serious sexual assault, 3 which allegedly took place in the toilets by both boys and girls in the toilets in Essex. It comes just days after the government is expected to release a transgender guidance for educational settings. These bring up about these people trying to fucking identify themselves as bloody spaceships and moons and everything else. They're fucking wired to the moon. The latest case has led to PMs and campaigners questioning the safety of mixed-sex toilets and changing rooms, which I totally agree with. Because I was on TikTok yesterday for the first time in ages, and the amount of videos I saw online of these weird, sick fucks on TikTok. There's just a couple of these particular men who are dressed as women. I have no problem with that, and you know my stance on it, guys. I'm tired of repeating myself, but like they're really starting to, the stuff that kids see online, especially the poison that their little young brains are being poisoned with. You know, to do all this, and then these mixed sex toilets, and now look, voila, there's been a sexual assault in a fucking toilet in schools. You know what I mean? It's crazy. All this crap that's being spilled out every day. You know, and I have no problems with lesbians, gays, bis, transgenders, whatever, but see all this crap, they're trying to overtake everything. And this easily offended fucking PC bullshit world is just complete. I'm tired of repeating myself. It's bullshit. And now look, we've talked about this for a while on the podcast, and voila, there we go. Gender neutral towards horrors as Essex schoolgirls are sexually assaulted. So, no surprise to see that in the news today at all. None at all, whatever. It's just crazy. I've seen Meghan and Harry popping up in the news again today. I'm not going to talk about them because I'm sick and tired of talking about them. A lot of you have been asking me over as well, sorry, about Glastonbury over the last few days. Did you watch much of Glastonbury? I didn't actually. I saw a wee clip of the Elton John one towards the end, but nothing special. Joe Biden's in the news again today. I saw that on social media this morning when I was on doing some stuff for the football club. I've seen a few videos floating around on social media of he's bumbling his words again, and he's yumming and yan, and he can't even understand what he's saying. And again, sometimes I hear from you guys about, you know, Biden, haven't spoken about him in a while, you know, what's your thoughts of this? And somebody sent me links to videos and stuff to watch. That recent one I watched this morning, it was just like, that man needs to be fucking taken away and put into a care home. You know, Sleepy Joe needs to be put into a home. He doesn't even know what he's fucking saying. The guy is, you know, it's crazy. He even turned around and said, and he says Putin, what was it he used the term? Putin is losing the war in Iraq in his recent, obviously, blunder. I mean, the man is wired to the moon. It's just the way he stands there and he chibber-chabbers and he can't say his words and he falls over all the time and he's the man's in his fucking head. He's like, Jesus, man. You know, and he goes on about flipping, apparently he was talking about Elon Musk as well, and he was just a bumbling his words anyway. I watched it this morning, and I was like, my God, that man needs to go into a home. He really does. I don't think he'll be re-elected as president, and if he is, it's fixed. 100%. He'll not be president again. I reckon it'll either be Donald Trump, and obviously he's in a lot of shit at the minute too, but I would love to see your man DeSantis in Florida, the mayor of Florida, being it, because that guy takes no crap, takes no bullshit. and is literally straight to the point. Even during COVID stuff and all, he was coming out and saying, look, listen, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. Look, listen, just be free. Live your life. You know, I'm not going to restrict my people and lock my people up over, like, what is a common cold. And he was great for it, and Florida's infection rate was low, and he was doing well. So, and he doesn't take any crap. Especially when it comes to his state. He really cares about the state of Florida. But anyway, he was bumbling his words, your man, the other day anyway, and he was just going bonkers, as usual. I'm not a big cricket fan, guys. You've probably seen a couple of times in some of my videos, if you're a regular follower of my YouTube channel, my dad's a big cricket fan. He's a massive cricket fan. He's been watching cricket since, God knows, since I remember growing up as a kid with my dad watching cricket. But at the minute, the Ashes is on, and guess who decides to turn up at the Ashes? One of the biggest cricket games to be playing in. Them fucking loony bins, Just Oil protester runs on the pitch with the orange powder and the fucking t-shirt and all on, and I saw a video of the batsman or the wicketkeeper grabbed them with a fucking scruff and dragged them off the pitch. I'd have been kicking the shit out of them while I was doing it. These loony bins need to be stopped. And I did mention the other day about a cop confronting them and all, and telling them if they didn't get off the road, they were going to be arrested, and which is great to see. Now apparently there's going to be this new law coming out for them now that they're blocking roads and stuff like that. They're going to be told, look, listen, yeah, they got off the fucking road, you're going to spend the night in jail. I would fine them. I would jail them. Teach them a fucking lesson. And the more they're jailed, if they keep continuing to do it on, the more they get jailed, then every time they do it, put them in jail longer. And then they'll get the message. I saw him at a clip of the cricket the other day. I mean, that's more events, like sporting events. I've seen the likes of the horse racing and the snooker and the cricket, and they've done it at football matches. You know, the Chelsea Garden thing they've done in London. All these different things that they've done. All these events, walking down the road, stopping buses and trains and people trying to get to school. Even them school kids last week finally standing up to them morons. It needs to stop. It really, 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 really needs to stop. It's just getting to the point now where something needs to be put into place. It really, really does. The COVID inquiry is going on at the minute, guys. At the minute, all this big investigation into the COVID inquiry about the pandemic, well, scamdemic as I call it, where people should have dealt with it better. They should have dealt with more things. I've seen the wee weasel Matt Hancock. I've seen Mr. Nick Slide, please, Chris Whitty. He was now, was it an OBE or an EBE or what the fuck he got? Over what? Bullshitting us? I don't think so. And then today, Jeanette McCrankey's on it. Nicola Sturgeon, our wee friend from Scotland, the wee weasel, who was arrested there 2 weeks ago for her husband's been arrested for apparently money going missing when she was in charge of Prime Minister of Scotland. Still get a lot of emails from you guys about that. I was actually talking to a Scottish person there last week about it on Instagram, I think it was. And they were saying, like, where we live, we all can't stand her. But there's a whole big inquiry going on at the minute about this whole fucking crap about COVID and see, in my opinion, they all should be standing in front of a fucking judge, not an investigation panel. That's my opinion. They should be standing in front of a judge and be held accountable for their actions, all the lies and all the deceit. I mean, look at them recent videos and all coming out from fucking number 10 Downing Street. All that crap coming out about them partying, and the videos of them partying while we were all locked away from our families at Christmas and all. While them fuckers are dancing around like on their twinkle toes going, oh, look at me, parties, no restrictions. Yeah, but the likes of Hancock and Johnson and Sturgeon and Whitty and all them fucking balloonheads should be standing in front of a judge. So they should, for what they'd done to us. They took parts of our lives away. You know, even that woman who you the other day on the podcast, she was saying about, you know, not seeing her parents and all, but they died because of fucking COVID, all the crap. No, afraid not. You know what I mean? And some of these businesses are still jumping on the COVID bandwagon. Give you an example. Today, I've got a guy coming out here to fix my tumble dryer. When I was on the phone with him the other day booking it in, because the tumble dryer broke down, they were like, oh, is there any COVID restrictions in the house? I mean, excuse me, madam, I don't want to talk about COVID. I'm here to talk about my tumble dryer. Oh, but we have to have COVID restrictions, make COVID restrictions? Go fuck. No chance. Then when they sent me an email and a text message to confirm my booking, COVID this on it, COVID that on it, and then they sent me a text this morning, COVID this, COVID that, and I'm like, are you actually for real? You're still on that bandwagon? Really? Knock it in the head. Really? But again, I think that personally, these people should be put in front of a judge. That's my opinion on it. Like, but it's crazy. Oh, anyway, yes, in Paris, another story I want to bring up. Paris. I mean, we've obviously seen a big explosion in Paris there recently as well. But apparently, there's been riots erupt again with 150 arrests and violent protests in Paris at the minute. Apparently, it's all kicking off over there at the minute. So it is. It was a really wee story this morning here. I'm trying to pull it up here when I'm talking to you. It says Paris and other parts of France were once again plunged into chaos last night as protesters voiced their outrage at the police shooting of French-Algerian teenager who refused to halt at a traffic stop. I actually saw the story about that the other day. It's kicking off again. Over 150 arrests in one night. Must be going fucking mad. So it was. See over here, that was like a bad Saturday night over here during the Troubles. I'm not sure they said that, but sure. It's crazy. I don't like to see any type of trouble like that over there. It's just madness, so it is. But what else have I got for you? I mean, I was talking about the other day about that whole Rwanda bullshit. About the people coming over and the dinky boats should be sent over to Rwanda and they're saying how much it costs and stuff like that. As soon as I talked about it on the podcast the other day, I got people messaging me about it, and then as soon as I went on to like different websites and all stuff like that there, it started popping up. People were saying it's disgraceful what they're paying for this here and all and whatnot. It's absolutely crazy that what they're saying that it's going to be prices to get these people into Rwanda, which is ridiculous. Here's the thing I want to talk about today. This is it. Now, you all know people in the UK. Now, wherever you're listening to this podcast from around the world, obviously, I don't know why you live in America or wherever countries you live in, that gets earthquakes. Apparently, there was an earthquake in Staffordshire as UK hit by very large shake as houses were shattered. Now, I actually made a point to keep this saved on my notes. Just clicked on the link here to actually read the story out to you this morning. An earthquake has hit Staffordshire on Wednesday evening as residents reported rumbling and rattling windows and their windows and doors. The British geological survey confirmed a 3.3 magnitude earthquake had hit the area. The tremor, which led to an epic within a 4.5 radius, which is one of the largest 21 earthquakes has hit the UK over the last 2 months. The UK is starting to get earthquakes, but then you see that there, and then the next minute you'll see all these people, all these nerdy bins who like the oil protesters. Oh my God, that's global warming change. It's going to get worse. You know, within the next 100 years, we're all going to be dead. Yeah, of course, we're all going to be fucking dead. I'm going to be dead in 100 years from now. I'm not going to live to 140. But just reading that there, like an earthquake in Staffordshire. Obviously, I hope everybody's okay over there. Like, but at the end of the day, you know, it's weird to see things like that here in the UK. Obviously, you hear about earthquakes in the likes of, you know, America and different places like that, but you don't actually hear about things like that normally over here, which is strange. So it is, but there you go. A lot of you have been asking me emails and stuff like that that I was going to answer shortly about, you know, my summer holidays and stuff like that there. Are we going to be doing podcasts while we're abroad? Yes, we are. Or while we're abroad, sorry, while we're away on holiday. Yes, I'm hoping to get podcasts done while I'm away too as well, guys. So yes, stay tuned for that there. Just a wee thing I wanted to bring up today. But that's just a couple of wee things I wanted to talk about on the podcast today. I didn't really want to get too in-depth the stories and whatnot because obviously I had Lewis on the podcast there for 30 minutes and stuff. So just a couple of wee stories I wanted to bring up today. But I am going to get into some of your questions now before I head off into the sunset and get ready to head from a trip tomorrow to London. Stay tuned to our social media feeds for photographs and vlogs and stuff like that over the next few days from London, which obviously a lot of you guys will be no doubt contacting me while I'm away and stuff like that there and wanting updates and photographs and stuff. But yeah, we'll be posting some stuff as well and a lot of vlogs as well, which I'm looking forward to. But I'm looking forward to getting to that. But let's get into some of your emails and then we'll do Jackass of the Week before I head down the road and get this podcast put out because I've got quite a busy day ahead of me today. Obviously get the last bits and bobs sorted for a trip tomorrow and then I gotta get everything else sorted. The guys come out to fix my tumble dryer today, which we get that all repaired and stuff like that, and then hopefully about 6 o'clock tonight I'm going to chill down with a couple of beers and just chill out like I always do on a Thursday night. I'm not going to go nuts tonight, just have a couple of wee beers and then that's me done for the day. Get to bed for about 10, back up at about 4 and then head to the airport, which will be fun. Can't wait to get to the airport, get on a flight. I'm actually flying with Ryanair tomorrow. I haven't flown with Ryanair in a long time, so I haven't. So Should be interesting. Oh yes, before we go into the questions, sorry, so sorry. A lot of you have been asking me how mum and dad's trip's going. Fuck me, unbelievable. Been on the phone with them a couple of times and they're going boogaloo. And I think I did say the other day that I contacted the property and they didn't reply. If you haven't know what the story is, mum and dad's currently in Edinburgh at the minute and there's a whole big kerfuffle. If you want to go back and listen to the story on Tuesday's episode, you can hear it. Mum's having a whole big nightmare where they've been put on a wrong thing that they're booking. What they booked is not what they got when they got to Edinburgh, and there's a whole big kerfuffle. But the update on, if you have listened to the story on Tuesday's episode, was didn't hear any response back from them the next day. There was a whole big kerfuffle about it all, and then I thought, okay, well, if they're not going to reply to me, I'm going to contact Booking.com, where I booked it through. Sent them an email, give them the whole ins and outs of it all, sent them photographs of what they should have had and things like that there. And now Booking.com is doing a full investigation of the situation because they didn't get back to me. But then once Booking.com got back to me again, the property contacted me, gave me a whole big load of bullshit story and, oh, well, we didn't, your booking should be this. No, and I said, no, don't even try and give me that crap. They were just physically trying to dig themselves out of a hole. So it's now under full investigation. Booking.com, I got an email actually from them yesterday apologising for the whole mix-up, and we have put in a formal complaint against the property, and also mum and dad are either going to be applying for either a partial refund or a full refund, and also an apology from the property, because they basically fucked them over. They really just literally messed them about to the point where, you know, it should have been dealt with properly, and the property just didn't do it right, and apparently their attitude stunk too. But they're on their way home today, and no doubt I'll hear all about it when they get home today, because no doubt they'll probably pop around here today to see us before the end of the day. But it's been a whole big clusterfuck, and mum and dad are not happy. Apart from that, they've had a good wee trip in Edinburgh. They've done a load of shopping, and they've went out for dinner, and they've went out and done. Mum and dad are basic guys, you know. I even said to them every night, why aren't you way out tonight on a night out somewhere, way out to a restaurant or something? Or no, mum and dad's too basic, too old school, so they are. But listen, apart from the place they're staying in, they said Edinburgh's lovely. I've never been to Edinburgh, but I'm hoping to get to before the end of the year. So yeah, looking forward to it. So mum and dad are back home today, so I know that I'll probably hear from them. I'll probably see them later on tonight, complaining as usual. Anyway, let's get into some of your emails. Let's have a look here now. I'll start with the old Facebook first of all. Moore Army YouTube channel on Facebook, guys. Please drop a like on it, follow us. I really would appreciate it on YouTube. Right, I got first message on Facebook from Stephen saying, "Hi Matthew, how are you? Just wanted to drop you a message to let you know that I've ordered the new Moore Army podcast t-shirt. Love the new logo. Is this the new logo for the podcast, or are you keeping with the original and then obviously using this as a new one for merchandise only? I love the new logo that has been put on the new t-shirts. Also, I love the podcast every week. I love it whenever you're more unchained and you can go off on anything you want to speak about within reason. But I love your podcast, and I just thought I would drop you a message to say that I ordered the new t-shirt today, and I'm looking forward to it to arrive. Keep up the great work. Also watch your YouTube videos from now and again, but not as much as the podcast, because I love listening to it on the go, along with other podcasts that I listen to. I hope this message reaches you in good... I hope this message reaches you in good spirits. Thank you for your content every week. I do appreciate it." Well, thank you very much for that. Yes, the new Moore Army podcast t-shirt is available. I forgot to mention that too as well, amongst the t-shirts. The original Moore Army podcast logo, which you see on all the bits and bobs, like the YouTube video, thumbnails, and everything else you see on social media, yes, that's still the original. But we did get a new t-shirt created, Moore Army podcast. But as I said to you guys, we're trying to get a video podcast set up as well for the YouTube channel, which I'll be wearing those t-shirts on the podcast. So, yes, the new Moore Army podcast t-shirt is available, but we're in the middle of getting a new design done for that too as well. So there'll be another podcast t-shirt coming out too as well. And the t-shirts are great quality, by the way, guys. They are none of this cheap crap. They are really good, high quality t-shirts. And they are reasonably priced. And you get them, if you live in the UK, you get them within 2 or 3 days. And if you're abroad, you get it within about a week, if that. So, and they do worldwide shipping. So they are available around the world. So they are. Right, let's get into our Facebook message here from Bob, or should I call you Bob or Bobby, or is that short for Robert, or whatever it is. He says, "Hey Matthew, I know you're a big fan of football, but just wanted to ask you a question about international football. Okay, what has been your favourite World Cup?" Okay, that's from Bob. Or should we call him Bobby or Robert? Or is it just Bob? I don't know. Favourite World Cup, hands down, Italia 90. No ifs, way, buts about it. Italia 90 is my favourite World Cup of all time. And even when I watch it back sometimes, like every couple of years or every year or two, whatever, I'd stick some highlights from the event on or from the World Cup itself and watch back and have some great memories from that World Cup. I love that World Cup so much. Really do love it so much. So many great memories from that competition. Obviously, England with Gaza crying and England losing the semi-final. The first match, Cameroon beating Argentina 1-0 at the San Siro. You know, all them different brilliant matches from that tournament that year was just incredible. And Italia 90 is my favourite World Cup ever. It really, really is. I actually enjoyed 1998 World Cup as well. 94 I wasn't a massive fan of. I did enjoy the 86 World Cup in Mexico, but I was only I was like 5 or 6 at the time. I do remember it though. But 90 was always one that stuck with me. You know, and then 98, the one in France was quite good. But anyway, World Cup after that, I've enjoyed them, but not as much as 1990. 98's a close World Cup to it, but 1990 is my favourite World Cup. I just absolutely adore it. I have a World Cup binder, collector's binder from back in them days. They brought out a big binder thing back in the World Cup days, and Mum accidentally threw mine out before I completed the collection, but I managed to get in touch with someone, and I managed to get the full binder back and collect this item. I've got all sweet things from the World Cup. I've got a coin collection from that year as well. I've got a full coin collection from the World Cup 1990. The old Esso petrol stations here in the UK and Northern Ireland done a coin collection for every time you filled up your car or you bought a certain item. You got a coin as part of a collection every week. And I have the full collection still, and it's in amazing condition from 1990. You figure about that there. That's over 30 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's still in mint condition. Also, the World Cup in 1998, there was a coin collection as well. I've got the full England one as well. So, but in the World Cup one, you've got the likes of England, Scotland, and all that there from 1990. So, yeah, good times. But anyway, thanks for your question. I appreciate it. Right, let's get on to Instagram. Every time I open my Instagram request, I sort of go, "Oh, good God, here we go again. What am I getting now?" I love Instagram. I actually really, really do love hearing from you guys on there because it's great to hear from you. Let's have a look here and see. Right, I've got one here actually. They want me to do it on the video, it looks like. It just says here, who's it from? From Tommy Fullerton. It says, "Can you do a shout out for my mate Aaron on one of your vlogs?" I'll do it in the podcast anyway. It's his birthday next week and he's a big fan. Got him some of your merch for his birthday. For his big day. Brilliant. Tommy, I'll do a shout out in my next vlog too as well, but I'm doing it in the podcast as well. If you send me a photo once the merch and all raised with the birthday boy, I'll share my Instagram. I love that. That's actually really, really nice. So Tommy, yes, I will give you a shout out. Or it's his birthday. His mate Aaron. Don't even say what it is, but Tommy Fullerton on Instagram. So there you go. I'll send him a wee message back and tell him I've done him a shout out on the podcast as well. Here we go. One of my regular listeners, Kieran. Here we go. He's talking about the oil protesters again. It says here, "Hi Matthew, the window lickers are at it again." He says, "They should be locked up for at least 6 months, but our crap CPS have announced they won't be charging them." That's from Kieran Gilmartin in Sligo. Hi Kieran, how you doing? Long time listener. So he is. Yeah, they get away with murder, them fucking oil protesters. But he's like me, the window lickers, the numpties, the glue bags, the ones super glue themselves to the road and all, yes. They are mad. Believe me, they're mad. They should be locked up. They're just fucking wired to the moon, so they are. Right. Let's have a look here and see. One here from Ian. Ian wants to know, "Hey Matthew, I know you're switched on when it comes to electronics and also working in the retail world. So just thought I'd ask you a quick question. I am arguing and fight back and forward with my missus at the moment. We're wanting to buy a new television screen for our home. We're arguing on which brand is the best to buy. I know it sounds like a stupid question, but I've been listening to your podcast now for a while, and I know that listening to you, you know how to resolve problems between partners, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, as you've been given advice for the last few months. Okay, which brand of TV would you choose to buy for the home? Why do you have to get me involved in this for you? But here, that's what I'm here for. Right, okay, well, if it was me personally, okay, the brand that I would go for would be for reliability. You're talking the likes of Panasonic, Sony, but with Sony you're paying a lot of money for Sony. That's why I wouldn't go near them. Good TVs, but people keep saying like LG, Samsung, and whatnot. But my go-to television for reliability, would be Panasonic. The cheaper brands, no disrespect to them, the likes of your JVCs and your TVs you see in the likes of Tesco's and Asda supermarkets and whatever else, Sharp and all them, they were good back in the day, good for like audio equipment, but not so much for TVs. Me personally, I would go for Panasonic. Toshiba are a good man. Well, they are still good. A lot of people still say Toshiba are not great, but I had a Toshiba TV for years and it was never any issue with it. Obviously you've got the likes of your Samsungs, your LGs and things like that, but for reliability I would personally go for Panasonic or Toshiba. That's my opinion. Now you may argue with me and say, oh, but no, Samsung's better and LG's better, and but at the end of the day, you want a TV that's going to last you for a long time. I have a lot of funny stories about selling TVs back in the day. Funny stories, actually. Stories like selling TVs and the guy brings it back the next day and there's a big hole in the screen. Selling DVD or Blu-ray players when they first come out to people in the public eye, and they come back 2 days later because their grandchild stuck a chocolate biscuit into it. And back then when Blu-ray players first came out in the market, they were like £1,000. Yeah, I got some funny stories for you, believe me, with TVs and whatnot. And electronic stuff. Currently at the moment, I have Panasonic TVs in my house. My kids have Toshiba TVs in their rooms. Now, I did replace my television in the living room there. When was it? My God, a year and a half ago. And I couldn't get the one that I wanted, but I bought a Hisense TV, which is in a way linked to Panasonic in a way, you know what I mean? For what I've been told and what I've been reviewing. And I've never had an issue with it. It's a good TV. They've come up in the market recently too as well, making very good TVs, but I will eventually change my TV in my living room once again to a bigger screen, which will be probably going for the likes of a Panasonic again. The biggest screen I ever saw, TV-wise set, not like projectors or big screens or nothing like that, was 100 inch? 110 maybe inch, maybe. I saw it years ago when I was at a training conference thing in Scotland, I think it was, when I was with Curry's. And they had this big Panasonic 100-inch screen TV back. This was like 2007, 6. So TVs, flat screen TVs back then weren't as thin as what they are now. But the thing was fucking huge. It was a massive, big son of a bitch. So it was. I always remember looking at it, going, fuck. And I remember the time the first ever 60-inch TV came out was brought out by LG. They brought a big 60-inch out back in the day. Good TV as well. But yeah, I hope I've solved your issues. Please don't, if you're married, please don't bring me in your marital issues. I'm not Jerry Springer. I'm only joking. Yeah, well, thanks for your message. I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you get the matter resolved. Keep me posted. I'm like an agony on here on this fucking podcast as well, aren't I? Unbelievable. Right, here we go. One more before I head off to do the jackass of the week here. Here we go. Let's have a look here. Right, one here from Trevor. Hello, Trevor. How are you? Let's click on your profile here and see where you're from. You are from, doesn't say it, just says UK. Well, hello, Trevor. How are you? Thank you for messaging me. I appreciate it. Right, let's have a look and see what he has to say here. Go back to the profile. Come on, phone work. There we go. Back to the message. Hey, Matthew. How you doing? Just wanted to ask you a quick question. And before I ask you the question, just wanted to let you know that I enjoy your podcast every week. I love listening to you rant and rave and tell the truth about certain issues in the world, especially here in the UK. Especially with politics. Politicians do my head in. But anyway, my question is to you today. What is your biggest achievement you've ever achieved in life? I know you're probably going to answer your children, but what is your biggest achievement in life apart from your children as well? Thanks for reading my message, Trevor. Well, you've pretty much answered your question. Biggest achievement in life is Trevor. Or is Trevor, sorry, it's Burke and Lewis. He's probably thinking, what? It's Burke and Lewis. Well, by far. 1,000,000%. Couldn't say any more. Definitely is Burke and Lewis. There's no doubt about it. Apart from that, it's hard to say. Well, there's a lot of different things I went through in life. Obviously, pulling myself out of a hole when I was struggling, where I was homeless and no money and no job, and my wife ran off at the time. She decided to go and think the grass is greener on the other side, and I was just going through a whole big shitty time where it was rock bottom. Pulling myself out of that was quite a big achievement. Didn't even have to beat her up the fucking geller, never mind anything else. What's that old saying? Was it never have the pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, or something that saying is? Yeah, that was a struggling time. Pretty much that's probably about it, really. Just a few things I've achieved in like local football and things I've achieved in work, and just be different things over the years. But definitely the biggest achievements, Burke and Lewis. There's no question about it. There's nothing can compete to that. But apart from that, that's pretty much it, Trevor. So thank you very much for your message. I know you're not my biggest achievement. I'm only winding you up. Oh, dear. But yeah, thanks for your message. I do appreciate it. Right, guys, I want to head on to Jackass of the Week here now for this week. A lot of you have been getting in touch with me this week about it. Saying, about who you think the Jackass of the Week should be this week. It's hardly really hard to say. It's just there's so much different things going on this week. It's really hard to pick a Jackass of the Week this week, even though I got to pick one. It's just what's really, you say a few. I mean, there's the likes of Harry and Meghan's been in the news this week again, and all the things going on with these flipping oil protesters and all the news about different bits and bobs. But it's been a hard decision this week, actually, who is Jackass of the Week this week. But again, I want to obviously have to pick somebody for it. So, right, let's get on to it. Well, I mean, after consideration, and for what I saw online, yeah, yesterday or today, I can't remember now because I've been talking that much in this podcast today. I would definitely have to say it's this individual because of the way they were standing in front of people and talking and stuff, and it's just, it has to be this person. Anyway, it's now time for the segment of this podcast that we all enjoy. It's now time for the Moore Army podcast. Get Boris ready. Here, production team, get Boris ready. Here he comes. Jackass of the Week segment. There he is. Our lovely friend, Boris the Donkey. Love him. Anyway, the Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you very much, as always. I do appreciate it. Moore Army podcast, Jackass of the Week for this week is, it has to be him. He hasn't been Jackass of the Week for a while, but after watching that speech yesterday, it was just so fucking cringy, and I don't even know what the hell he was talking about. It's good old sleepy Joe Biden. It had to be him. There's no other way about it. It's Joe Biden. Look up the speech. Honestly, it's so fucking cringy. Sleepy Joe Biden. There you go. It had to be him. You will understand once you watch this speech that he done. Sleepy Joe is definitely by far the Jackass of the Week. There was a couple of candidates threw in there, the likes of Holly Willoughby was in contention this week. Philip Schofield was in contention this week again after all the stuff that's been going on with them. Obviously, all the numpties going on in the COVID inquiry, all the stuff in the government about the Rwanda, people going over flying to Rwanda, and Harry and Meghan again was in the news this week again about all the crap that they've been through, and there's a lot of few local celebrities and stuff like that there as well, but it had to be Sleepy Joe. When you watch this, you don't even know what the fuck he's saying. He's just blabbering on. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Honest to God, he's just a moron. So he is a complete and total fucking moron, and this guy needs to get put into a care home. He will, eventually. I mean, the man falls over all the time, and every time he falls over, they're making excuses for him. Like every time, oh, he tripped on this and he fell. The poor man needs to get put into a home. He's the jackass of the week this week. So there you go. Right, guys, I'm going to go because I got to go and get this podcast put out. Got to get it edited. God knows what time I'm going to get it out today because I got loads to do. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel over the next 3, 4, 5 days. We have got a ton of footage to come out between vlogs from London, us at Friday Night SmackDown at the O2 on tomorrow night, also London on Saturday, then being at the O2 again on Saturday night, and then all day Sunday where we're going to be doing vlogs from London, where we're going to try and see as much as we can from London. So stay tuned. We're also going to be staying in 2 lovely hotels, which we're going to show you around too as well. Oh, we're just going to be up to so much. It's going to be so much fun in London. Stay tuned, guys. Cannot wait to get to London. I really cannot wait. Right, I will be back here on Tuesday for another podcast. I'll be telling you stories about what happened in London, all the different things that we're up to in London. Stay tuned for that. Cannot wait to hear, obviously, all your feedback from the vlogs and stuff over the weekend. I got loads to talk about on Tuesday. Please, let's come back and listen to it because we're going to have so many stories to tell you about what we're going to be up to, as always. If you are a listener and you are at Money in the Bank or the O2 in London at the weekend, you want to come and say hello to us, certainly you can. Drop us a message on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and if you're about the area, come and say hello, because I look forward to meeting you all. Also, guys, before I go, don't forget the Moore Army merchandise is available on moorearmy.co.uk. All the new merch is released. Sorry. Also, go check out previous episodes of this podcast. You can go back and check them out on Apple Music, Spotify, TuneIn Video, and here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. But appreciate it. Right, until Tuesday, enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend, guys. I will see you back on Tuesday here. Probably tired, but it'll be worth it. Stay tuned to social media, guys. It's going to be a fun weekend. So until Tuesday, I will see you back here for another episode of the Moore Army Podcast. Have a great weekend, guys. And until then, I will see you all soon. Thanks for listening.